Hello there. Now I am here. And Kirk is here too. We are the Podcast Discovery Show, and it's time to talk about discovery things. So, for the question of this week, you know how in basically any anime, any fantasy, anything, people have a majestic steed that sometimes isn't a horse. Most of the time, it isn't a horse, it's some other majestic steed. What would your majestic steed be? Normie. Giant normie. It's like what's that? Oh, what's that movie? Yes, never ending. Yeah, yeah. That's exactly what normie would look like. Normie, right? Here's normie. It would be perfect. It would be indistinguishable from if you just went over to Kirk's house on any day of the week. No, I mean flying normie is a great one because that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, I mean, since it's all made up anyways, I want one of those giant golden eagles from Lord of the Rings. Just fly on a big eagle. Yeah, dragon would be sweet too. It's like a mean bird that could shoot fire. No, it wouldn't be mean to you. Can it be the dragon from Dragonheart so it talks like Sean Connery? No, it is not. That is a classic of cinema. It's a very, very strange movie. The 90s were a weird time. Um, I don't. That was. Are you talking about the one with Christian Bale? I feel like that's like 10 years later. No, there was a dragon movie that was literally Christian Bale and McConaughey. It was like a huge cast, and they're like just living in this like dystopian world attacked by dragons all the time. I think that is called Rain of Fire, right? Yeah, it was 2002. Oh, and Gerard Butler, McConaughey, Christian Bale, and Gerard Butler were the three in that movie. I knew it had a huge cast for a weird movie. Now we're gonna look at Dragonheart because I'm gonna see. Yeah, this is '96, and I mean this one had long-haired Dennis Quaid and Sean McConnery dragon. So I mean, how do you go wrong with that? I don't know. I think it's impossible, really. It does not have amazing reviews. It was a super weird movie. I don't know. Oh no, it was definitely like CGI. Yeah, but it was '96 CGI, so it was bad. Sounds exactly like him. Just saying I'm a dragon. That would be maybe my favorite line in the movie if at some point he does say I'm a dragon and I have a dragon heart. Or if he said I'm Sean Connery as a dragon. It's like you can't work around this guy. He's just gonna do what he's gonna do. We are talking about food. The hosts. Let me see. I need to pull up that specific episode too. It was a little tough to follow who was talking to who. Okay, let's see. All right, I got them. They have pretty great notes. I'm not. Yeah, there's definitely a picture of a guy strapping a woman into a potato chip bra on here. Yeah. So yeah, that's why you should always check the websites, everybody, because sometimes their websites have awesome show notes. Okay, let me go ahead and start Zencaster. What? Wait, how do you do that? Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, we'll have to look into that and hire a team of people to do that for us. Okay, I think we are fairly good whenever. And I am Zach, and this week we are talking about a show called Gastropod. And each week on Gastropod, hosts Cynthia Graber and Nicola Twilley serve up brand new episodes every 2 weeks that break down the hidden history, surprising science behind different foods and farming related topics. And that's from their website. And it really can vary across all of those different fields. You know, it really is not limited to they're going to talk about a specific food item. They really do dig into the history. And this episode we're talking about is called Snack Attack. Right. Yeah, I had the same the same experience. Yes. Yeah, I hadn't either. I think we need to start here. Are you snacky? And I'll be honest with you. I kind of already know the answer, especially if it's pickles. You're very snacky. But is that something that like all throughout the day you like to snack? I need to put the record button up so Kirk doesn't get pickled the whole time. 3:39. If you actually eat a pickle, are you gonna remember what you were saying? Okay. Okay. Here's the thing, Twigs. He can't though. Like You told him to eat a pickle. He's like, I have to do this for Twigs, and so he's just gonna do it. Hey, Bunny Cat. Hey, you two. What majestic steed would you ride if you were like a fantasy character? Kirk chose Normie, but the size of the thing from Neverending Story. Um, I chose, and then he also chose a dragon. So maybe it's just a dragon with Normie's head on it. Yeah, we talked about this last week, but I don't think we ended up doing it. I was asking Twigs for brainstorm time. Oh yeah, Battle Rhino. That's a great one. Oh, if you were in like you know how in animes and fantasy books and everything like that, the hero has some awesome animal that they have made their steed. You know, and it doesn't have to be a horse. That's obviously like the most boring choice. What would be your fantasy steed? So if you were the character in that, what kind of weird animal would be your like companion that you can ride into battle? Twigs chose Battle Rhino, and I think Battle Rhino implies like maybe armor, or maybe it's just battle knowledge. It's just a seasoned, a battle seasoned rhino. Ooh, a griffin, great choice. Josh is gonna go with horse. I'm gonna say Josh's horse is named Peanut Butter, and now we can go back to recording. True. Yeah, there definitely is. I was asking you about if you snack all throughout the day. Yeah. No, why not? Mine is a hippo mixed with a panda that has wings. No, it's got giant wings and it's fast. I've found it like goes in cycles for me. You know, if I get in these like I'll have like weeks where I just want to snack all the time and I will snack a lot. And first of all, I also am aware that it's not like a healthy thing that I'm doing. It's like I'm hungry and I'm just going to eat more than once, you know? So it's like I don't know. But it was definitely interesting to hear first of all that it's not something that just everyone does. You know, there's a cultural element to this. Yeah, and they said that some people just straight up, I don't snack. So I guess that means if it's not time to eat a meal, just no, get that out of here. I don't want it, and I can't imagine that world. I don't know. I guess it's just we're too ingrained in the snackiness because in they do start going through. It's really cool how they break this down in the show because they show you how all these progressions went. You know, they showed you how these started to really come into prevalence. You know, and one of the craziest things for me on this episode was that literally they think that the main thing that started the whole craze of snacking was packaging that could keep things crispy. That's literally it. So they figured out a way to put something in a bag that would actually keep it crispy. Not recently. Recently, I liked them last time I did. It wasn't. It was a while ago, but they taste good. I think it's mostly because it's sugar. It's just like a lot of sugar on popcorn, and there's a lot of things that people eat where okay, like even cashews, you're like, how did you first discover this? Because it's like inside of a berry, and I don't think the berry is edible, and so it's like, how did you figure this out? But then like popcorn, I get, somebody dropped corn, and it blew up, and they're like, well, that looks tasty, and then they tried it, and that was it. Story over. But yeah, no, it was really cool to hear kind of how these things went about. And then they were also talking about the main way that people were snacking early on was at like events. So if you went to the circus or if you went to a sporting event or things like that. So it kind of got a weird connotation. I had never once thought about the cultural like zeitgeist side of snacking. I've never thought about it once. So it was pretty crazy they were bringing it up in such an interesting way. Honestly, I can kind of see that though, because I don't really eat breakfast very often, but a lot of times I will get snacky before lunch. But then if I eat a giant breakfast, I'll skip lunch entirely. I can hear him be like, "Rrr, rrr." I just wanted to stop right there. I can. I heard him like starting to ramp up, and now he's just full on mad at it. All right, everybody, favorite snacks. If you had to grab a snack right now, what would it be? Yeah, because it's invisible. That yeah, I can't see you at all. It's really working. Ice cream, classic. No, but that's the thing. Nuts are a snack. It's one of my favorites, because you do like a handful of peanuts and some fruit. Crackers and chips, delicious. Oh, there he is. There's baby Normie, baby Bjormy. Hey, hey, Briven. Okay, I'm trying to think what we were talking about there. Cultural stuff. Oh, eating breakfast. That's it. And I was saying that if I eat a big breakfast, sometimes I will skip lunch completely. And I don't know, have they finally come to a consensus on whether breakfast is important or not? And I think that it really, part of the problem is people were eating sugar things for breakfast. Yeah. Yeah, no, but I think if you ate something healthy, it's fine because then you would maybe snack less. I don't know. It's funny because even as they were talking about it, I still feel unsure about whether you should be snacking or not. It seems like maybe not if you can avoid it. Just drink water or something. I don't know. Have a fruit. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's about limiting what you're doing. Because okay, they talked a lot about things like Doritos and Cheetos and all basically about chips. And this was another really interesting part of it because they essentially know that this is a blank canvas for making as delicious a thing as you possibly can that will literally like make people not be able to stop eating it. And I do think that happens. If I had the desire, I feel like I could destroy an entire bag of Doritos in one sitting. Like there would be no like you could just do it because it's just that flavor that like the flavor powder is everywhere, and you're like, oh, it just tastes good, and I need some more. Yeah. Well, the last road trip we ate enough high chews that we could like had an entire like passenger seat filled with like wrappers. It there's no avoiding it. Corn curls. And I mean, somebody was really hungry one day and ate the cattle food and was like, that's not bad. No, I'm making that up. And history was made. No, and like there is a lot of this where I'll say this, regardless of like I guess the ethics behind it, these companies are really good at taking advantage when they can. So I remember Doritos were old tortillas at Disney, and that was it. And now they're not. Obviously they're not trying to like find a way to get rid of tortillas. They are a huge company and one of the most popular like chips ever. And so it's really interesting how these companies just really leaned in and were like, hey, it's potato chips. And it is funny that like a lot of these things, like we talked about breakfast, they're like, oh, it's the most important meal of the day, it's gonna give you lots of energy. Chips have never once tried. They're like, no, it's what it is. It is a fried potato. It tastes great. It is terrible for you. You get it. We're not gonna talk about it. Yeah. It's real flexible term for for vegetables. Yeah. Oh, I want to see the plant this grew on. That's interesting. No, but they really have just kind of like been like, okay, and that is maybe I'm guessing the main issue with snacking is for the most part, if you look at like percentage of options, it's vastly bad. The vast majority of things you probably just shouldn't ever eat, because like the serving size on a bag of chips is like, oh, you can have 4 potato chips. No one in the history of the world has ever eaten The recommended serving size of potato chips. No, but that then it's useless too. Because if it's the whole container, then why have the serving size? I think it's mostly because if they did a serving size for a bag of chips, or like, I wonder if they do it so they can divide the calories down by 40. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, it only has 100 calories. It's like, yeah, for four chips, so they're able to like break this down that way. Yeah. How many Doritos is it? I'm in the market. Yeah. Yeah, no, I bet it's fantastic. I got this phone by eating Doritos. No, I'll say this: Asian countries, they have taken it to another level. Because like our boss would bring in chips from the Korean store, and they have crazy flavors. Like he like a crab and all kinds of interesting flavors. So this is, yeah, it's not exclusive to America, but there are some countries where it's just not a thing, And I don't know. I've been kind of on a not snacking kick, not by any decision, just I haven't been feeling it. So we'll see when it comes back. Everyone's already obese. Joke's on you, researcher. 1 in 5 kids is obese. It's not good. Yeah, where there's nothing left. Yeah, not that there's like one element of it that's a processed food, that there's literally no elements that aren't processed foods. It was once a potato chip in theory. It was at some point it looked at a potato, but there's no like potato in there. They're not wrong. It is a weird shape. And did this come from? Like they had extra tennis ball cans? Like what's happening with? I don't. There's a lot of things that I don't understand about it. Well, I really hope no one ever finds that, because they're gonna pop and they're gonna stop, because it's not good. Is that too dark? I'm sorry. He did it. He buried himself in a Pringles can. I only take a little bit of blame for that. It's a good texture. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a great texture. But yeah, no, and also definitely check out their website. We will link this episode specifically, show links. We'll have their websites page on this because you get all kinds of cool stuff. You have all of the guests they had on there because throughout this episode they had. I'll just go through some of these. A food writer and historian named B. Wilson. Nadia Berenstein, a flavor historian who studies the science and technology of food. Barry Popkin, a nutrition and obesity researcher at UNC. Sachin Panda, a professor, and he actually started a Center for Circadian Biology at UC San Diego. And they also, yeah, it was serious. It was funny because I kind of had always assumed because, like you said, this gets recommended to me because we've listened to a lot of we like shows that are like this. You know, stuff that's like kind of about the culture and the story about food. And then this one, you end up learning so much cool stuff throughout. It was just fantastic. Yeah, it was incredible. They really did, but it was really really worth it. I personally like I followed the show because I think it's a great one for just I don't know what I'm gonna listen to, and you can just pick something, find something. I almost did that one honestly, but like I feel like I just had a discovery about that. We're like, let's not signal that we're just always having hangovers. We're gonna act like we're just always snacking. It's better. It was not long ago. Yeah, it's like a an actual challenge. Dragonheart. And it's about Lord of the Rings. There's always more to discover. All right, stopping this one. I like that you did this whole maneuver on here so everybody gets to watch you try and get Normie out of your jacket. All right, are you good? I need to go turn down my air, but if you're not gonna like go anywhere, do you want BRB? All right, I'll leave you here to talk to everybody. Okay. Feels good, actually. I needed that. All right, I'm going to start the next recording. Let's see if it breaks everything. So far, so bad. Oh, there he is. Not bad. Another stretch. What? I can move you around. Here, hold on. Yeah, I don't know why it moves, but it does. It does things. Okay. Let me grab. Oh, I didn't even mention the snack I want to try. Sprouted almonds. Have you heard of this? You literally soak almonds overnight in water, and then you put them on a piece of like paper towel and leave them there, and they sprout. They start to, but it doesn't go that far. All it does is crack, and the reason why is they say that it has enzyme inhibitors so that when they're dormant, they hold all their energy. But as soon as they see water, they start putting that energy out to try and turn back into a plant, and then it becomes really bioavailable. So if you like, I really want to try it because they're just barely split open, but they say they're like really good for you. Yep. Yeah, we're gonna have to. I don't know how we do the crossover and let everybody hear about when we talk to Chris, but I think it would be an interesting one. Yeah, we'll learn a ton. Start start recording. I would, but I think I'm only wearing a tank top. Yep, I am. So I can't. It's inappropriate. I'm gonna get TOS for removing clothing down to a scantily tank top. All right, I'm gonna start this recording. Now I need to grab the order we're gonna go in. Okay. Should be about 10. Welcome to Discovery Weekly, where we discover things weekly. We find whatever new, interesting things we can find in space, art, history, food, science, nature, whatever, it doesn't matter. We love it all, and we talk about our discoveries to each other. I'm Zach, and I discovered something called a wearable microgrid. So, engineers at UC San Diego have built clothes that will store energy from the human body. So, it has three main parts. One is motion powered devices called triboelectric generators, sweat powered biofuel cells, and energy storing supercapacitors. And all of these can be washed. They're all like flexible and can be screen printed into clothing. And what this is going to do is allow you to power electronics by just being active, by doing things and being alive. Here, let me. It looks exactly like that. Y- yeah, yes, exactly like that. Definitely like that. But essentially, they have just found a way to use every single part of like the motion that we do in a normal activities and like sweating and everything like that to like potentially power future wearables, because this is something that we've seen a lot more of these starting to be announced, and that's not even counting kind of the specifics of everything with COVID and the masks and everything like that. They're coming up with new fancy masks and things like that, but they're also it was kind of awesome actually. It looked pretty great. Yeah, we went out to a show last night, and the one of the bartenders at this place had a dress that literally, instead of like a turtleneck, it was even longer, and it had ear straps, and so you could literally take like the neck of your dress and pull it, and it was a mask. Yeah, honestly, it looked pretty awesome. And I mean, it could just be because she was just wearing that thing. It looked awesome. I don't know, but I told her that I didn't think I could pull it off, but it was cool. But yeah, no, it's a really cool thing, and there is a ton of like technical detail on like how all these fuel cells work and how they went and built all of this stuff. But like essentially, like the generators, as your arms swing against the torso while walking or running, the two pieces of metal rub against each other and generate electricity. And it, yeah. And they did this, and okay, so the biofuel cells, the ones that are like essentially taking, I think they're based on the sweat. What they do is continuous low voltage. The ones that are about movement are high voltage, and then you pair those two things together, and you have a continuous steady voltage so that you can like power things. And with everybody looking at, because everybody's working on new like AR glasses, everybody's working on, and no one's really hit the usability of the Apple Watch, but everybody wants to. You know, if people can get everything paired together and everything working together, then that's even better. But one of the things that's always could be an issue is charging. But what if your wearables were literally being charged by you just wearing a shirt, and that's it? And then essentially it goes a step further because that's normal use, you know, walking around, doing whatever. But what if you were able to like amp it up and when you're exercising generate more, you know? So there's a lot of potential for this this idea, and I'm sure it's getting, yeah, I mean, yeah, really what we need is just like footholes in the Tesla, like Fred Flintstone, because then you could do both. You could solar power it, you could like kinetically power it with your body, and you just look awesome doing it. That was the best part of the Flintstones, was him just pedaling his car. Extremely. Yeah, pretty genius. Hmm. That is ridiculous. I had no clue. Always accurate. Hmm. Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. And it is so interesting because I think it's essentially what happened all over the place in the US too. You know, these things were happening the same way. You know, we brought in a bunch of immigration from China to build out the railroad, and then that's the places that now are like Chinatown in California and things like that. So it's really interesting to see how that plays out and then how much of a role in the culture they end up playing. So after we talked to Billy Mays not too long ago, he was talking about all these NFTs that artists are getting involved with. And I saw, oh, it's what did? Oh, really? Good Lord. Yeah, so this is going absolutely ham, and I found a little bit about it. So the guy, you know, Bad Luck Brian, the meme. Here, if not, I'm gonna bring it up for everybody. You will probably know it. This is Bad Luck Brian right here. Um, and this is a very famous goofy meme. Bad Luck Brian sold literally the original picture. That was a school picture of his. He sold it for $36,000. He sold it for 20 Ethereum on a platform. And he did this as part of that same thing where it's a non-fungible token. So somebody like owns the rights to that and literally has their name like embedded in the actual image at this point. You see what I mean? They've put it like in there. So it's really interesting as this starts to happen because yeah, no, I think it really is. They've created this non-fungible token. They've put something on this so that somebody owns it. You know what I mean? Because then people can use it, but there's an ownership that's like kind of yeah, right. No, you didn't. But he could also do a takedown because he has the NFT saying he owns it. You know what I mean? Like he could, in theory, take like yeah, no. But I think it's there's something beyond it. But I think that I probably should show everybody this. Actually, is there? I'm trying to think. I'm gonna take a look at the front page here because I don't want to run into any issues of there's something disturbing on here. Um, okay, it looks fine. So hopefully we're good. But I want to show you. I found the website or a website that's doing a lot of these auctions. It's called Foundation, and okay, I guess I'm gonna have to cut this from the podcast. But the band Pussy Riot, very famous for getting very, very on the wrong side of the Russian government, is very popular on here. You can buy like and see you can kind of see what this is there's like gifts and all of these different like pieces of artwork, and then there's you can see these are all live auctions for NFTs, and it looks like they're doing Ethereum. There's Tron Man, another meme for you. Yeah, and then yeah, the dress. Yeah, but yeah, so it's basically this is like there's all this art that literally you can own, and for the most part, and at least through this one, it's they're using Ethereum to do this. And you go on here and it's a normal auction thing, but then you would end up with an NFT saying that you are literally the owner of these images. So it's just all of this is just so interesting, and like I don't know, it's just such a new premise. It's so crazy to even think about. But you start to think about how many people would be able to sell their art in a different way. This isn't something where they have to go to an art show. They have to go do anything, sell to a museum, anything like that. It's literally you just you host it on this foundation website and you can auction it. And I don't know. It's so interesting to watch how cryptocurrency is really taking off right now, because I saw the other day that for the first time, I think in recent memory, Bitcoin was more searched than COVID on Google. Yeah. So did it? Yeah. So it's all just really wild to watch, but it's really cool to see the NFT side of things, where it's like it's less about like trying to set up a white paper and everything like that. It's just a way for artists to kind of get involved in the space and sell stuff kind of on their terms. So it's pretty cool. Oh yeah, no, we'll look back on this time and see the crypto bubble. You know, it's just like the .com bubble. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he did order from Domino's with Bitcoin, didn't he? It was like 20 Bitcoin. Yeah. Shout out Podfix. Perfectly timed. Late. He's alive, everyone. He's still alive. Oh, so you're saying like story wise, we wrote him like we killed him off of the story. Okay. Yeah. See, Josh just said rip in chat, so that's how you know that he's late. Apple. Oh, okay. Sure. Hmm. Terrible naming skills. Terrible. Well, I don't know that that even qualifies as a name. That's a full explanation of what it is. Oh god. Which is there's so many things about that one. Like, first of all, 1888 sounds like a garbage year. I'll just throw it out there. It seems like it is. Some guy, I guess, looked at a circle and was like, "I am a magical genius, and I know Like, what was the premise? Like, oh, it's what's the he knew the diameter. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no, I don't know. They were really bored in the 1800s. I mean, it was like I don't know what else to say. That's so weird. Yeah, I guess. But yeah, I do. My favorite part is the math professor who's like, "Bro, you are so dumb. Like that is so dumb," and just like shut it down immediately. But the weird thing is, he wanted to copyright. I want to know more about this. What is he copywriting? I'm gonna copyright this circle that I divined through supernatural means. It's like what is? And no, but that's the thing. I don't know what he's trying to copyright. Like maybe he's trying to copyright his process and that like, oh, I am a magic man and I know circles real good. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think we're hit public domain times for by now, but yeah. They just had a circle magician, so I'm not like surprised. I don't understand the impulse to find all the numbers of pi, but I'm sure it's just I'm not wired like those guys are. Because yeah, I don't nothing. Who cares? Yeah. Pi Day was yesterday. Or no, like 4 days ago by the time this comes out, right? But yeah, it was a thing. So I read an article, and this is kind of a short one, but just nice. Um, Birds and being around birds makes us happier, based on a couple new scientific studies that have come out. And that doesn't mean you like go hug a bird every day. What that means is that so German researchers found that even being or that being surrounded by a wide variety of birds can offer increasing life satisfaction equivalent to $150 per week of added income. Yeah, so I think they just were like, "Would you rather have $150 or see a bird?" And people are like, "You know what? I could go for that bird. That's pretty cool." Um, but basically, they started to, well, no, what they did is a quality of life survey to measure how different species and diversity of birds affected 26,000 people in 26 European countries. According to our findings, the happiest Europeans are those who can experience numerous different bird species in their daily life, who live near natural surroundings that are home to many species. And then they also examined the socioeconomic data of the people that were surveyed. And much to our surprise, we found that avian diversity is as important for their life satisfaction as is their income. So I don't know. Maybe Germans like birds even more, but I don't know. But in general, I think it just mostly goes with nature. And it also, there has been a spike in bird activity in general, like bird watching, and the Cornell Lab of Ornithology has a global day where they tell everybody to go try and identify birds. They give people a checklist and they can go try and sightsee all of them. And they said this time last year during the pandemic, they had 2.1 million sightings of 6,500 different species, an all time high of 50,000 participants, and they submitted 120,000 checklists, shattering the single day like totals by 30%. And so they think that it's something where we all got trapped at home and that people essentially were able to look out their window and find some joy by watching like a little bird family in their yard. I mean, it sounds better that way. It sounds like you have like a billion low pass filters on it. No, it sounded good in a way. Yeah, I don't see anything about pigeons, but yeah, no, a pigeon like that would cost you about $6 or whatever he just said. I need to re-listen to that episode. It was, yeah, it was where he was talking about the rollers. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Hmm. No, yeah, no, it's about selflessness. Yeah, it really is. Hmm. Absolutely. And we will talk to you next week. Thanks for listening. Done. All right, now it is time for video games. So I'm gonna play a little bit. If you wanted to play like a little bit of like I don't know, Overwatch or whatever everybody wants to do. I just probably won't play super late, probably, but I'll try and get in at least like an hour or so. But yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out on the stream. We appreciate it. But yeah, we will be right back. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We really appreciate you.